I'm going to do homework number 15, question 9, because it has a couple of issues in it that I don't mention elsewhere. So it's a hypothesis test about a population proportion. Do you believe the Loch Ness Monster exists? It says 64% of 2737 said yes, with significance alpha equals 0.01. Test the claim that most people believe that the Loch Ness Monster exists. Now, when it says uh, most people, that means more than half. So the claim is that P is greater than 0.5. Now, to set this thing up, I'm going to go to my hypothesis testing setup chart, and the claim is that P is more than 0.5, more than half, more than 50%, most people. So I'm looking at this more than. So the claim here is that P is greater than 0.5. The opposite is P is less than or equal to 0.5. And so the null hypothesis is P is equal to 0.5. The alternate hypothesis is P is greater than 0.5. That's what the homework question is going to want to know, the null and alternate hypothesis. So it's this, P equals 0.5 is the null, P greater than 0.5 is the alternate. So when I go back to the homework question, P equal 0.5 is the null, P greater than 0.5 is the alternate. That looks like choice A. Let's hope for the best. Excellent. Next situation, the test statistic. Okay, well now we have to go into the calculator to do this. And on the calculator, here's the calculator. On the calculator, the first thing I need to do is, because it's going to ask me how many of these 20,737 people said yes. In the question, it said 64% said yes. So to figure out what I need to enter there, I'm going to go 20,737 times 64%, and that gives me 13,271.68. Now the calculator is not going to want that 0.68 part of that. It's going to give you an error. So I'm going to round that to the nearest whole number, which is 13,272. So on the calculator, when I go to stat tests, stat tests, and then one prop z test, enter. So there's the 0.5. For the x, it was 13,272 as I was just describing. 13,272. The sample size was 2737. 2737. The form of the alternate hypothesis was greater than. So there's that one highlighted. And when I go to calculate, it gives me the test statistic. The z is the test statistic. It looks like about 40.3254. I hope that's enough places. And a p-value of 0. Okay, so when I go back to the homework question, I wrote that down, 40.3254. It wants two decimal places, 40.33 to two decimal places. 40.33. I'm hoping for the best. Nice work. Okay. And then the p-value, well, the p-value was 0. Actually, for you math majors, a p-value can never actually be 0. But this number is so close to 0 that the calculator can't tell the difference. Anyway, let's check that. Well done. Okay, so now, let's see, what is it? It must ask for the conclusion. Okay, yeah. So the conclusion is we reject H null because the p-value was 0 was less than the significance of the test, 0.01. And then I can go back and check on the wording chart. Here's the wording chart. So we're rejecting H null. And if you remember from the beginning, we said that H null was not from the original claim. So reject H null, not from the original claim. That's this one. The sample data support the claim. So it's reject H null. The sample data support the claim. Let's see what answer looks like that in their choices. Reject H null. The sample data support the claim. Reject H null. There is sufficient evidence to support the claim. That looks like choice B. Let's see how it likes that. Okay. And then how is the conclusion affected by the fact that the internet users who saw the question could decide whether to respond? Uh, see, sometimes I don't know what they're going for here. Uh, uh, I would say part A, since the sample is a voluntary response sample, the conclusion might not be valid. Let's hope for the best on that one. Let's see. Ah, excellent.